Okay, so welcome to today's podcast. Our topic is going to be a very important topic. It's going to be what is love? We all think about love in our day to day life, like, I love him, I love her, and your mother loves you, your father loves you. We say all those things, but what does it actually mean? Like, what does the love mean? Is it an attraction? It is just a sexual thing. It is just like a need thing. It is just, I don't know what is love. So today, me and my friend Shad are gonna delve on what exactly is love. Like, we're gonna try to think about it in a way that we can get to some conclusions that this is what love is, or this is what is called a true love or not true love. I don't know. So let's start. And before starting, I want to ask you one question. Why did we choose this topic?
I don't know. You told me that we are going to discuss about this topic, and you also told me that you and I know much better about love. I don't know how does that make sense, but you mentioned about this as first.
Okay, to be honest, like, the idea of what is love came in my mind by looking around people, like, around me. There are some people who are or who were in relationship, and what are their conclusions? What if somebody cheated on them and now they are just stuck onto one thing, they are unable to move on, and kind of like that. So I was dwelling on these questions for a long time. Even previous even people whom I know before, they have also asked me these questions, to be honest, that what is love for you? And I'm fully never able to answer it, because how I look at it is very different from the worldview in terms of what is love. So let's start by your view first. What do you think love is?
Uh, Love is a kind of affection, a strong feeling towards someone for whom you care about very much. And what I believe is love isn't something that you develop. It's somewhere. It's in human nature. Uh, when you are born, you have a strong attraction or affection, not attraction, strong affection towards your parents, your mother, and in my second semester, I did a course which was Introduction to Psychology, in which I studied about love and relationships we are into in this world. And in this course, I found one really good example of what love is. It was something like how when a baby of a monkey, I don't know what babies of monkey are called, but I think
Baby monkey?
baby monkey, I guess, yeah. So how a baby monkey is uh, uh is how baby monkey is strongly affected when his mother is not there around her. And how does it affects, because mainly in our first phases of life, we think that how we survive, like food is survival. So who provides us the food?
That's whom we love, you want to
That's
say?
whom we love, like I mean to say the mother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
understand.
so love is something that we don't develop it by time. It's like it's there but we don't know, but it get increased throughout the time in our life. So my definition of love is something that we care about much.
Okay. To be honest, I'm a bit more confused than I was before,
I
but
don't know what I'm talking today, but yeah, love is kind of affection.
okay. Let's take a step back and think about what what love is, what is not love. Because I don't know what is love, to be honest. Like, I can comment on it all day, like affection, maybe security, maybe some chemical reactions in your brain causes you to that causes your pupils to dilate when you look at the person, or it might be you feel a strong rush of dopamine when you look at the person whom you love. There can be a thousand kinds of definition of love, but how I want to look at it is like, what is not love? Like, let's say people tell me all the time, like, I loved him, I loved her, I loved this thing, I love that thing, and now I don't love it. Now it's gone. Now we broke up, or now the thing is broken, or something like that. Like, what do you think? Is that love? Does the love fade with time? Like, or it was just an attractions? It was just like a temporary thing that you felt. What is the difference, or what is not love? Or in other words, what is the difference between love and attraction, or neediness, or maybe stuffs like that? How would you comment on it?
Like what?
Like, do you have a list? Like, do you ever think about, like, I don't know what love is, but I'm pretty sure that is not love. Do you ever think about, like, when you look at
For
something or
someone you don't even give a shit. That's what not love is. If you don't care about anyone, it means you never loved them. Because if you care enough, you would have a feeling.
let's portray a scenario where you have a girlfriend and you care for her. For example, you care for her, and then
As a human being or as a boyfriend,
as a boyfriend.
there is a difference.
No, I'm talking about as a boyfriend, not as a human being. So you care about her, and let's say shit goes sideways, and you are not able to sustain that relationship. Now she's starting to blame you, she's starting to disrespect you, she's crossing the boundaries and stuff like that. If you have, like, let's say, if you had love, how would you behave as a person who compared to who does not have love? Let's say there is me, there is you,
Hmm.
I don't love, you love, and the person is doing that thing. How would you behave compared to me?
I would put this in a way that defines love. So let's, as you said, that there are two people, one who loves me and one who doesn't. Okay. So the one who loves me will care about me and I will care about him because there will be a feeling that we will reciprocate with each other while while with the one who doesn't love me or doesn't care about me, there won't be any connection at all. It it might be casual, it might be uh, on a basis it might build on a basis like maybe some work, maybe your colleague, work colleague, or a partner, maybe not as in partner, but partner in something that is related to survive on this planet.
Makes sense. But what I asked was, if shit goes sideways and she's not behaving, or he's not behaving properly, like they are not talking to you, they are being disrespectful, they're crossing boundaries and stuff like that, like they are trying to, like, their they their way of behavior is not ideal or is not good compared to what you expect for someone who love.
Hmm.
Now, tell me, like, what would you do in that situation if you love that person? Would you leave her? Would you tell her what is she doing? Would you try to sort things out? Would you leave? Would you?
I would try to talk to her. What's wrong? Why are you behaving like this? Because there might be reasons, couple of reasons that can come up and make an issue. Like uh, there might be an old argument, there might be an action which she didn't like, or there might be anything, might be her frustration, might be anything related to my work. It can be anything that fades that feeling of being with each other.
But don't you think, like, for example, I agree with your answer, but don't you think the other person should do the same thing? Like, before behaving rudely to you, before behaving in a certain way, they should come and communicate, like, oh, this is the feeling I'm having wrong with. Like, what you did this in past is going to cause the problem, and it is causing the problem, and I'm being in distress, and I don't like it, and I want you to sort this out. Don't you think the person has to do the same thing before even before even making a decision of talking to you rudely or doing something that he shouldn't do?
No, I don't think so. Because there is only one way, talking it out. Like
But
if
why you have to talk it out? Why not she? Or why not he?
it varies from person to person. Not all people are the same. If she's not talking to me about the problem, it may create a bigger problem. So I might have to take a step and talk it out.
Okay. Because in my opinion, like, I would say, what love, what is not love is a simple thing, like neediness. For example, there are two kinds of thing you notice in day-to-day life who are like people in relationships. Especially, you see them, one of them is talking to them, one of them is talking to the other person, and they say, quote unquote, I say it, they say, like, they don't mean it, to be honest. Like, how they portray their wordings is like, I need you to make me feel okay. I need you to make me feel secure. That's, I think, is more on the side of neediness and attraction and insecurities. What love should be doing in this scenario is like, I care deeply for you. Yes, care is a 70% form of love, 100%. I care very deeply for you, but I do have my life separately. I'm not obsessed with you. I'm not gonna text you when I'm anxious. I'll text you when I want to. When when I feel like texting you. I don't text because I have some insecurities or stuff like that. To me, that person has more love compared to someone who is constantly texting or constantly anxious, like, where were you, what were you doing, how are you, and constantly talking 24 hours, as compared to the one who talks when he feels like it, when he does not talk when he's anxious or stuff like that. He's The goal behind talking to someone is because they want to talk, not because they are insecure about the other person, that what, or they have some weird thoughts regarding something. Because that's that is a kind of insecurity when you feel, if you are ever in a relationship, in we are solely talking right now in the perspective of two people relationship. We are not dwelling into right now about a father and daughter, or father and son, or mother and son, vice versa relationships. We are solely talking about the romantic relationship between a husband and a wife, a girlfriend and a boyfriend. That's what they are. Like, I don't know what is the third one.
Why are we going straight into the romantic relationship? I don't understand. I don't get the point.
Because we all know, like, for mother and father, for like for brother and sister, that relationship somewhat somehow we're gonna agree on some point. But I think the most we're gonna disagree, or most people are gonna disagree, would be in terms of relationship. And nowadays, 70% of the problem people face regarding love is not about their mother or father. It's not about their brother or sister. It's mostly about the spouse.
What do you mean by at some point? We might understand.
What do you mean?
What I'm trying to say over here is that the basis of love, it's not like that you just born and you will develop a romantic relationship, isn't it?
Yes.
How?
Can you repeat the question again?
It's not like you just born.
Yes.
You have just born. You are 1 day old and you will develop a romantic relationship.
No, you won't. But for, let's say, let's talk about the mother and son relationship. What is their relationship about? A mother nurtures her child, and in a way, she does not expect anything from him. Like, especially you see all the time that mothers have been taking care of the child who are maybe mentally retarded, or they have some mental problem, they have some physical problem. Mothers still not differentiate between a person or a child who is perfectly fine and who has some problems in their life. Their love is equal, and I think their love has no needs. Like, what does a mother need from a child? Does she know that by the time he grows up, he's gonna take care of her? Is there a surety? No. But she still take cares of it regardless. When you grow up, when you are a teenager, you see all the time rebelling against your parents. Like, you say, I don't agree with what you say. You talk back, and you say a couple of things to your parents, like, that would be disrespectful in what I think, like. But you are a teenager and you are dumb, so you don't know. But what does a mother do in that scenario? Like, does she know that was gonna happen? Yeah. But she loved you regardless. Did she gave you food, she gave you love, she gave you water every time you needed it. She did all the possible things in her. Right now I'm talking about 70% of them. I'm not like majority, let's not say 70. Majority of the mothers, I'm not talking about the one who are not. I'm not talking about exceptions here. I'm talking about the majority part of the motherhood. Like, what does the mother do? Do they expect anything from the child? No.
That's a form of selfless love.
Yes. And we all agree on it, because that is the love that I think you can find between spouses.
You can, but it's rare, I would say.
It's very rare.
It's
It's on the
really rare.
yeah. It's as a far side of the bell curve. You can never. You would find that in maybe out of 1,001. I don't think I have never seen one.
Because at some point a person will think of him or herself.
100%.
And what I think is there are different forms of love, and selfless love is the elite, or I would say something that not everyone has.
Yeah, I think selfless love can exist between someone who are not at the same level. For example, it's very hard for selfless level to exist between two people who are at the same level. Like, let's say two people who are in university. two brothers. I think it's very hard for selfless love to exist between someone who is same age, as I may say. I think selfless love can exist between some kinds of hierarchical love. For example, a mother can selflessly love a child, and vice versa. A teacher can selflessly love his students and wants to see him achieve certain things. Maybe that be teacher of sports, teacher of like sciences, teachers of university, any kind of stuff. We are generalizing it. I think selfless love exists between some kinds of hierarchy and not like same level. I mean, it can exist, but it would be on the far side. It would be as an outlier in bell curve. That's what I see.
Yeah, of course, I agree. And in other forms of love, we are just being selfish. We are not self aware. We are just being selfish, and we have expectations from the other people. We don't love them, we just have expectations that we will do something for them and they will do something for us in return. And we just name it as love.
That is true. 100%. I mean, I always think that this is a very deep thought, but I think that when you have to say something to someone whom you care about, whom you love, and whom they love back, I think that kind of people should be like, how do I say it? Like when you say something, for example, please trust me, or please take me on dates, please cook for me, please clean the house. Maybe I'm talking about especially between spouse. This thing, I think if you have to say certain things, then the thing loses its value. If you tell someone to trust me, like for example, if I say someone, can you please trust me, then there is no point of telling them, because I think that is more of a, the thing just lost its value when I said that to someone. And I think most of relationship relies on them. We find that we love each other, but we constantly has to say someone to say something to the other person, like, hey, please don't do that, I feel insecure. Maybe please don't do that, I feel bad, or I feel not good about that, I feel awful when you do that. So when you tell them something, it loses its value. And you find it all the time in relationships. And I think, to answer my question, let's get back to the what is not love. I think attraction, insecurities, and stuff like that. A person who is unable to move on from something. For example, if he loves someone and a person cheats on him. Now he may be devastated, on the other hand, that this guy can get devastated. For sure, there is no doubt. If he loved, he's gonna feel bad about it. But then if he goes back to her, I think that is not love. That is just his insecurity portraying. I mean, I'm using here an extreme example, but I'm talking about normal things too. Because a love, as Shakespeare said, a love is blind.
Hmm.
And Alam said, love is not stupid. So if there is something stupid,
It's a title of a movie, if you know.
love is not stupid? Really? I just figured it out. I just made it right now. It should be copyrighted. So Shakespeare said, love is blind. Alam said, love is not stupid. Because if you're stupid in love,
Well,
that is not
the
love.
the title is like the opposite of what you said. Love is stupid.
But I don't think it is. You think something, if you think something is like, let's say, if you're unable to leave someone when they are hurting you, you are unable to walk away, and you are just constantly trying to chase clarity. You are constantly trying to chase that approval regardless of anything. I think that is not love. That is more of a more of your own insecurities you are trying to portray on the other person. That's what I think.
Or maybe just peer pressure.
What do you mean peer pressure?
You are just getting married, or you are just into a relationship just because others around you are in or are following these rituals.
But I think, like, then if you think that other people are doing something and you should do something, maybe people don't love each other because, let's say, it's not genuinely developed connection. Let's say people around me are getting married and I feel pressure to get married. Then I think people have to look into their life and see that this is the problem, this is what they are insecure about. Now they find that problem, they have to note it down, like, okay, this is the thing that I'm fucking insecure about, and now I have to solve it. Because if you don't solve it, it's gonna create more and more problems in future for you. Like I was insecure about so many things. I was When you are in a relationships, you always fear about a person trying to leave you, or a person, not you always, insecure person. I was there at some point that you are always constantly thinking about that person is might gonna leave you or stuff like that. But I think that was my own personal form of insecurity rather than it has to do with other person. Now how does it get solved? You have to think about it. You have to try to think like, oh, why am I doing this? And then you find a reason, you try to work on it, and you solve it eventually. Doesn't matter how much time it takes. And then you come into next relationship, you're more secure. Now you feel more content with yourself. Now you have more of a life to yourself. Like, you are doing the things that you like too, by keeping by and also like talking and enjoying the time with the better half. But I think there is only one person who can truly love, is a secure person who is self-content with his way of thinking, or who is self-content in himself. If he's peer pressured, if he's easily manipulated, if he's easily affected by something, if he's triggered, I think then there is the problem.
Yeah,
You shouldn't love at that point. You should try to avoid from women, or avoid women actually.
and the thing is that to truly love someone, you have to love yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, and if you don't love yourself, and you don't know what you need from others, you won't you will never truly love someone. It's like marrying a robot just for the sake of needs.
That is true.
And I think
I have a question.
yeah.
Be honest. Like, if, let's say, you are walking by and you talk with someone.
Hmm.
She's very beautiful, she's very kind, and she's a prostitute.
Hmm.
But now you started developing feelings for her before you found out.
Okay.
Should you marry that person if they are willing to leave everything?
If she truly loves me, then yes.
Perfect. I would do the same. I mean, it is what it is. Who cares at the end of the day? Except
No,
you.
the main reason is that you shouldn't judge someone from their past if they are not doing it in the present.
That is true. That is very true.
If they are not the same in the present. because you are not allowed to discuss their past. Or let's just say that you got married
Yeah.
and you got into an argument.
Yeah.
Would you come up with this point that you were this kind of person before the marriage? Would you do that?
I wouldn't do that.
That's your answer.
I wouldn't do that. I mean, if I had that kind of thought that if it's gonna, to be honest, I'm a person that if it's gonna bother me, let's say for example, I think about it and I think about that this is the point I'll bring up when I am in relationship for long, then I don't think I'll approach that person. Maybe I'll just stay away. Maybe I'll just try to not love. Maybe but you can always you can't always control it whom you love and whom not. You just feel that connections and then be with it. So I think that's a very long podcast actually.
We were discussing about what love is and what love isn't.
Yeah.
And what I think is that love is something when the other person do anything, like any kind of bad thing, good thing, um, it doesn't matter how severe it is, you forgive them.
That is true. I mean, I like to see that. I mean, that depends. I do agree with it to some point. Like, for example, I think that kind of love can happen between
Between
a god and his creation.
a god and his
I
creation.
don't mean a god, the god and his creation. And between two people, especially, no matter what they do, uh, you forgive them. That's a very easy thing to say, to be honest. Like, I do appreciate if somebody does that, but as a human being, you are flawed as an emotional, like, you have been given emotions. You are not strictly logical or you are not strictly emotional. So, I like to think, for example, if somebody does something bad to you, I'm not talking here about spousal or any, I'm generalizing it. If someone does something bad to you, I think to some extent you should forgive it. But then after you, it would be your limit for forgiveness.
For their own good.
Yeah, because only God is ever forgiving. A human can try to be ever forgiving, but he has emotions. So it's very hard for him to let go of certain things that have happened to him. Like, let's say I give you some money, you break my trust, you do something bad, and then should I forgive and give you more money? I want to, but I can't because I know what's going to happen in the back of my head. Even if I want, I cannot make the same mistake again.
Because that's you are being, what you can say, your trust is broken now.
Yeah. And as
And once it's broken, it cannot be rebuilt.
yeah, it cannot be rebuilt. They
It's
say,
really hard.
yeah, I think trust is a form of love too. Like, if you trust someone, I think that is a form of love because as a human being, you are complex. Nobody can understand you what's going on inside one person's head. So what they say, we take it as the face value. For example, if somebody said something about something, as a person, I think you should believe it at the face value because that's all you know about him. You cannot, even if you want to know more, sometimes you can't know more because a human being is complex. But once that trust is broken, now there is no, like, there is no going back, because now you had a whole idea about someone in your head that, okay, this person is like this. Now all of the ideas get shattered. Now you constantly think to yourself that, is it, am I stupid that he was able to fool me, or am I naive? You change your perspective about them, and you change your perspective about yourself too when somebody breaks that trust. For example, I trusted you with something, you break it. Now the natural thing is going to happen is, I'm not going to trust you. But the other thing that's going to happen towards me is, I am not going to be the same. I'm going to constantly have in my head that, oh holy, I'm gullible. Somebody can make a fool of me very easily.
And you will have a self doubt that something is wrong and what the heck just happened, and you won't even believe it that they have broken your trust. And you don't want to believe that, because that's the sad part that you are very afraid of.
How I would like to say is, like, only trust people to the extent that you can fathom when somebody breaks your trust. Don't do don't do something that's overly exaggerating. For example, don't trust someone with your life if you don't trust them. You're just trying to, like, you just, let's say, it's saying like, a person is worth $10 and you give him 10 million. What's going to happen? He's going to mess up.
Of course.
He's going to go to casino and get rid of it. And now the next moment he does not have money because he's not worthy of your giving him what you're giving him. A trust should be built like a character. Like, it should be day by day by day. It's like,
Leveling up.
yeah, it's like compounding. When somebody says something and that he does that, you think, oh, that is trustworthy. Second time, third time, thousandth time, and it just constantly, now you like trust him more naturally. But you shouldn't just trust them from very start. Like, you sh- I wouldn't trust someone from very start what they say. I would try to develop it gradually at the end of the day. So yeah, I think trust is a form of love. We discussed care as a form of love, and
We discuss
we
as
still are unable to get to the conclusion, like, what is love? Care is love,
affection is love,
affection is love,
forgiving is love,
forgiving is love,
trust is love.
trust is love too. And what not love is like
And
neediness.
I think being human is love. Because when two people truly love each other, they are the purest form of human being,
That is true.
because they are vulnerable. They trust each other immensely. They they believe in each other immensely, and what I would say here is they are attracted to each other, and eventually they will be in the best form they can ever imagine.
That is true.
Because when you are in love, you would wish that you would wish that the person you love would become the best version of him or herself.
That is true. You should, I think, here I would like to conclude this podcast and say, you should, everyone should love. There is nothing wrong with loving someone. I think what you should be more careful of, not loving someone when you are not ready, because then you would hurt them and they would hurt you, and you wouldn't be able to love it again, and you would find it hard to get the connection. So I think you have to be ready in order to love someone. You have to be secure with yourself. You have to have all your insecurities worked on before you embark the journey on loving someone. Because if you bring insecurities, if you bring trust issues into a relationships, I think they only get heightened. For example, if you love someone, if you have loved someone in past, maybe that be anyone, I'm not talking about male, female, anyone, and they broke your trust. Now the next person you go to, you already have trust issues, and now you're going to portray that trust issues or reciprocate that trust issues onto the other person, and that other person,
Will eventually break your trust.
yes, they would feel like the need to break the trust because that's what you have in your head. Your
That's
head,
what that's what you are expecting every
yes,
time.
every time, whatever happens, you're expecting she's gonna break my trust, he's gonna break my trust. But
So
yeah,
my advice over here is to start from the beginning.
I think so. Yeah, that's a good advice. Me too. Like, be secure, be safe, be content with your life before loving someone.
And don't be selfish
Yeah,
to some extent, because there is a limit of being selfish.
that is true.
Because when you are in love, you might have to forget who you are at to some extent, because eventually you might have to manage, or what I would say over here.
You try to be like them, you mean?
No, what I'm trying to say over here is that you have to be patient, and there will be some points that you might feel like leaving them, but you have to be patient. You have to be responsible of the fact that this will go away, and this can happen to any relationship where there is true love.
That is true. That is so true. I think we would like to conclude our podcast by encouraging everyone to get rid of their insecurities and try to love someone. Because I think once you're in love, like, not as in needy form, not as in weird form, I mean love, I think your life is good. You can handle anything. What I think, I would like to think like that is, I mean, to be honest, I have never experienced that kind of love. I don't know about you. Have you?
Yeah, I do have experience being in love, and it's a magical feeling until and unless it fades away throughout the time. And always remember, being in love is not the position where you are the weakest. You are the strongest person in this world just because you are in love, because you can do anything. You can do anything.
That is true. Okay, so we would like to conclude this podcast by everything, and if you have any questions,
Just let us know and we will try to
get
answer.
back to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Sayonara. I've never experienced that kind of love. I don't know about you. Have you?
Yeah, I do have experience being in love, and it's a magical feeling until and unless it fades away throughout the time. And always remember, being in love is not the position where you are the weakest. You are the strongest person in this world just because you are in love, because you can do anything. You can do anything.
That is true. Okay, so we would like to conclude this podcast by everything, and if you have any questions,
Just let us know and we will try to
get
answer.
back to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Sayonara.
Adios, amigos.
Any look, any under